Hey, in this video, I'm going to show you how I designed and built this soda dispenser for my kitchen sink. To start out, I used Fusion 360's freeform environment to sculpt the outside shell of the soda dispenser. This is a really easy way to get an otherwise complex shape roughed out pretty fast. This nozzle here, I had a lot of trouble with. I ended up redesigning it like 3 times, and then I just gave up and I asked my brother to do it. So he came up with a really nice design that was simple, and we ended up going with that. So you'll see what it looks like at the end of the video. This lever arm here is kind of just a placeholder. We had a little more complicated design that we wanted to go with, so I just put it there to kind of show what scale we wanted. I had my brother actually design it, so you'll see that in just a second. Here I designed all the internal components, like the platform the limit switch will be hooked to, the axle that the lever arm will rotate on, and then the lever arm that will actually press the trigger on the limit switch. To finish up the design, I added this threaded piece to the bottom of the soda dispenser and a nut to attach it to the counter. It's hollow down the middle to allow the wires to go through and the tube for the soda to go through. Here my brother designed the handle for the soda machine. So I 3D printed all the parts that I had just designed. It ended up being about a week of print time. It would have been a lot less, but just about every part I had to print 2 or 3 times. Every time I would print it, something would go wrong. But in the end, I ended up with good looking parts, so I'm happy with it. I just used some super glue here and glued in a little spring so that when you pull the lever, it'll spring itself back. That way you don't have to push it back every time. Here's that new nozzle I was talking about. It's honestly just a simple curved tube, but it works pretty good. One small oversight I made here is I just grabbed the tube that I had laying around in the garage, and apparently it isn't food safe tube. So when you drink it, it's got a kind of plastic flavor to it. So that's something to keep in mind, you know, maybe check to see, make sure what you're using is food safe. After I finished assembling it all, we went through a lot of sanding and got the surface nice and smooth and ready for painting. For paint, we used filler primer to try to fill in some of the cracks that the 3D printing leaves. We ended up with a really nice finish for this Coke bottle handle. We painted the soda dispenser tower chrome, which ended up looking really cool. And finally, for the installation, I just set it in the hole, and we're done. No, not really, I'm just kidding. There's a little more work to do. I used a little 12-volt DC pump to pull the pop up through the tubes when you pull the trigger. So here I'm just wiring it up. This is our first time testing the whole system, and it worked, so it was pretty exciting. And finally, now that we know it works, I switched the water out for pop and tucked it all under the sink. If you've enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting the like button. Also, there's more videos to come, so if you want to see what we do next, subscribe.